Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Our presentation will start in approximately 4 minutes. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is my distinct honor and privilege to welcome you to Submarine Base New London and the commissioning of USS Idaho. I'm Lieutenant Commander John Whitaker, the ship's executive officer. On behalf of the crew of your Submarine Idaho, I would like to express our sincere gratitude for joining us here today. Before our celebration begins, please silence your cell phones. Thank you. We are here today to celebrate the commissioning of the USS Idaho, the fifth ship to bear the name of the Gem State. The first USS Idaho was a steam sloop built in New York for the United States Navy in 1866. Upon entering service in 1866, Idaho served in the Far East, arriving in Nagasaki, Japan in May 1868, remaining there for 15 months to serve the Asiatic Squadron as a store and hospital ship. She was badly battered by a typhoon in 1869, returning to Yokohama, Japan, where she would be decommissioned in 1873. The second USS Idaho, BB-24, was a Mississippi-class battleship. Commissioned at Philadelphia Naval Yard on April 1, 1908, she served in training and fleet activity capacities across the New England coast, sailing down to Cuba and around the Caribbean. After suffering an engine loss in 1912, she cruised back to Philadelphia for repairs. She was sent into Mexican waters in 1913 to be a presence after a coup d'etat was carried out in Mexico. After the unrest, she returned to New England shores, embarking midshipman at Annapolis. In 1914, she was sold and then transferred to the Greek Navy. The third Idaho, SP-545, was a single-screw wooden-hulled motorboat built in 1907 at Marblehead, Massachusetts. She went and commissioned for naval service at Cape May, New Jersey in July 1917. She was assigned to 4th Naval District, serving harbor patrol and tending submarine nets. She was returned to civilian service in 1918. The 4th USS Idaho, BB-42, the Big Spud, was a New Mexico-class battleship commissioned in 1919. After serving on training and readiness operations on the West Coast, she was sent to Norfolk Navy Yard for modernization in 1931. She returned to the West Coast for service until 1939, relocating to Iceland in 1941 and then Pearl Harbor. She was regunned in 1942 and was sent to be the flagship of the bombardment of Attu. In 1943, she would prepare for the invasion of the Gilbert Islands, providing gunfire support off Macon Atoll. She would go on to support invasion of the Marshall Islands, firing off Kwajalein, and then on to New Ireland for diversionary bombardments in 1944. She would then steam to the Marianas, providing pre-invasion bombardment at Saipan and on to Guam. After brief repairs, she steamed to support pre-invasion bombardments at Peleliu. In January 1945, she would join the battleship group at Pearl Harbor, steaming to Iwo Jima to provide crucial invasion support. She remained at Iwo Jima through March 7th, departing to support the last assault of the Pacific, Okinawa. Arriving on March 25th, Idaho began shelling enemy batteries and battling kamikaze aircraft, downing 5 enemy planes. Idaho entered Tokyo Bay on August 27, 1945, witnessing the Japanese surrender that was submitted on board USS Missouri. Idaho was awarded 7 battle stars for her World War II service. She was decommissioned in July of 1946. We are delighted to have several former crew members and family of the 4th Idaho here today. Please stand and be recognized. Additionally, we are honored to have several Gold Star families with us today. Ladies and gentlemen, we recognize the significance of your loved one's sacrifice to our nation. Thank you. Would all active duty veterans and first responders please stand? Would all military and first responder families please stand? Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your service and sacrifice. The first U.S. Navy ship sponsor can be traced to the commissioning of USS Concord in 1828. Concord was the first ship to be christened by a woman, and that tradition continues today. We are honored to have Miss Terry Stackley, our ship sponsor, in attendance with us today. The new Idaho, moored before you, affectionately referred to as a boat by members of the submarine community and the crew, will soon join America's silent service. SSN 799 is a Virginia-class submarine, and with her sister ships, she represents a revolution in submarine design, construction, and mission capability. Brimming with leading-edge technology and advanced engineering, this vessel brings versatility and firepower to the fleet. Idaho and the Virginia class are among the most effective platforms in the United States Navy, and this warship takes another step forward in advancing the superiority of our submarine force. Capable of operating in the far corners of the world's oceans undetected and while connected to air, sea, and land-based forces, these submarines are equipped to wage multidimensional warfare around the globe. Idaho's adaptability makes it highly responsive to changing mission requirements and provides the nation with the capabilities required to be the decisive factor in any conflict. In addition to anti-submarine warfare, anti-surface ship warfare, and counter-mine warfare, Idaho will support surveillance, special operations, and covert strike missions. Thank you for allowing each of us the privilege to serve our nation as a part of your Navy. Construction began on the submarine you see behind me in August 2020. and she was christened on March 16, 2024 at General Dynamics Electric Boat here in Groton. Today, USS Idaho is tested and battle ready. We are all very proud to serve on the newest attack submarine in the United States Navy. The commissioning ceremony is a time-honored tradition that began with the commissioning of the Navy's first ship, a captured British schooner, the Margareta, in 1775. Since then, thousands of ships have undergone the transition from silent hull to a fully alive warship. My shipmates, our crew, hereafter known as plank owners, are in formation and ready. In just a few moments, Navy Band Northeast and the submarine base New London Saluting Battery will render honors to the Honorable John Risch. Will the guests please rise and remain standing for the arrival of our official party, honors, the presentation of colors, our national anthem, and the invocation. Ladies and gentlemen, our platform guests. Lieutenant Commander Daniel Chung, Chaplain Corps, United States Navy, our ceremony chaplain. Captain Richard Colburn, United States Navy, retired, Chairman, USS Idaho Commissioning Committee. Captain Brian Heberly, United States Navy, Supervisor of Shipbuilding, Groton. Captain Mike Hollenbach, United States Navy, Program Manager, Virginia-class Submarine Program. Captain Thomas Flaherty, United States Navy, Commander, Submarine Squadron 4. Mr. Mark Reha, President, General Dynamics Electric Boat. Rear Admiral Jonathan Rucker, United States Navy, Director, Design and Construction for DRPM submarines. Vice Admiral Ron Etchison, United States Navy, retired, our long glass presenter. Vice Admiral Richard Seif, United States Navy, Commander, Submarine Forces. Vice Admiral Robert Goucher, United States Navy, Director of Submarine Programs. Admiral William Houston, United States Navy, Director, Naval Nuclear Propulsion Program. The Honorable Hung Cao, Acting Secretary of the Navy. The Honorable Joe Courtney, United States Representative, State of Connecticut, 2nd Congressional District. The Honorable Michael Simpson, United States Representative, State of Idaho, 2nd Congressional District. The Honorable Brad Little, Governor, State of Idaho. The Honorable Richard Blumenthal, United States Senator, State of Connecticut. Ladies and gentlemen, our ship sponsor, Mrs. Terry Stackley, escorted by Senior Chief Petty Officer Jesse Davis, Idaho's Chief of the Boat. Ladies and gentlemen, the Honorable James Risch, United States Senator, State of Idaho, escorted today by Commander Chad Gillerow, Idaho's commanding officer. Ladies and gentlemen, honors to the Honorable James Risch. Platform and salute. Platform, ready, to advance the colors. Platform, hand, salute. Color guard, retire the colors. Right turn, march. Forward, march. platform. Ready, two. We would like to thank Navy Band Northeast, Submarine Base New London Saluting Battery, and the University of Idaho Naval ROTC Color Guard for their participation in our ceremony today. Ladies and gentlemen, Chaplain Chung will deliver the invocation.
Let us pray. Eternal Father, who gathered the waters into the great abyss, we seek your favor upon the USS Idaho and upon the inaugural crew who now command her through the deep. Bless this vessel and the souls who dwell within her steel embrace. Remember the lands of her birth and let your favor rest perpetually upon her. Let your strength be her guide in the fathomless dark. Let her reign in the waters where she roams. Like the Leviathan of old, may her name be spoken with awe, yet her passage remain unseen. O God, embolden the hearts of our sailors on the Idaho as they journey far from home, and nourish with patience the families who await their loved ones' return. In their silent vigil, be their unwavering guide. Grant that this vessel, a guardian of the deep, may always be a harbinger of peace through strength. Return her and her crew safely to our shores, that we may honor their service and your eternal watchfulness. It's in your holy name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain Chung. Will the guests please be seated? Idaho, parade rest. Ladies and gentlemen, the Honorable Brad Little.
Welcome, everyone. Before we celebrate this extraordinary milestone, it's fitting that we recognize the leader whose vision helped make this moment possible, Governor Dirk Kempthorne. Governor Kempthorne could not be with us today, but it is important to recognize his leadership and determination in securing this honor for Idaho, that a U.S. Navy submarine would carry our state's name across the world. What a proud and historic day this is for the great state of Idaho and for our nations. Most Americans fail to realize Idaho's Navy connections. Connecticut, logical. Idaho needs a little explaining. During World War II, Camp Farragut was the second largest naval training facility. More than 300,000 sailors underwent basic training. Today's modern nuclear navy, the envy of the world, was conceived and advanced in Idaho. The stealth capabilities have been honed in Idaho. Today we gather to commission the USS Idaho, a remarkable vessel built with precision, powered by innovation, and entrusted with an important mission. As impressive as this submarine is, it's the men and women who serve aboard her that will truly give this submarine purpose. To the crew of the USS Idaho, today you become more than sailors, you become ambassadors. Ambassadors for Idaho. Idaho is a state with character and enduring values. Our people are resilient, independent, and deeply committed to one another. In Idaho, hard work isn't just expected, it's a way of life. Where integrity matters, where grit matters, you will carry that spirit of Idaho. From farmers and loggers who rise before dawn to the innovators and entrepreneurs building the future, to the families who look out for their neighbors and take pride in their communities, you will represent them. You carry their values wherever the submarine travels. Idaho is a state that sends generations of young men and women into uniform, willing to serve and sacrifice for something bigger than themselves. We understand that freedom is not guaranteed. It is defended every day by people just like you. That is why this moment matters so much to the people of Idaho. To have a Navy submarine bear our name is not just an honor, it's a profound responsibility. It is a symbol of trust. Trust that the name Idaho will be carried with pride and distinction across the world's oceans. I have no doubt that you will do exactly that. You represent the strength that keeps our nation safe. Back home, across our state, there are people who will follow your journey. They will stand behind you. To the crew, thank you for your service. Thank you for your commitment. Thank you for the honor you bring to our state. May God bless you and protect you.
Thank you, Governor Little. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Mark Reha.
Good morning. So on behalf of the 26,000 shipbuilders at Electric Boat, welcome to the submarine capital of the world. We take great pride in that name. Over 100 years, this part of New England has been known for housing the submarine force, from the first sub base and the first submarine until now, where we commissioned the Idaho. It's our honor to be part of that legacy, where sophisticated technologies, workmanship, hard work, blood, sweat, and tears are all brought together to build the finest warship that humans can take to sea. So we're proud of being part of that. Each one of the boats we deliver takes a large team. It culminates here, but it starts all over this country. Suppliers across the entire United States and our friends down at Newport News Shipbuilding all join together as a team to do something that wouldn't be able to be done if not for the ingenuity of the engineers and the thoughtful people of the United States. So one of the things you get to do when you do this job is you get a chance to ride. And Commander, it was a pleasure and an honor to ride with your crew on Alpha trials, watching your team go through the trials. I think as was mentioned last night, the fastest a boat has been through Alpha trials, the best in-serve score that a ship can get. But a ship doesn't come together quickly. It's a labor of love. It starts as steel, and it gets built over time into modules. We assemble those modules. As it comes into Groton, the ship's manager takes a big role. On this particular boat, Sean Donovan, an amazing job putting this ship together, leading the team. And each boat, we say that they don't go together easily. They don't. Each one takes on its own personality. The personality of the ship's manager also comes into bear. I think Sean's beard was, and we at one point we were talking about would the ship get delivered in 2025, and Sean said, "I'll bet my beard that it will." Hey, Sean's here. Sean. Great job by him. He also wore a shirt with gems on it each Friday. It becomes and then when the crew comes aboard, and that partnership with the crew becomes something that really makes the ship come to life. And you watch her go from, like I said, steel to a ship that's going to carry our Navy to battle. So it's a pleasure to be here today. As you, Commander, as you take your crew to sea, we'll be with you. For those of you that passed under that bridge to head out to into Long Island Sound, as you go to sea and you go to battle, we'll salute you, and we'll be proud of our part we did. So on behalf of all of General Dynamics that works on this boat, not just at Electric Boat, GD Mission Systems, Progeny, GDIT, all over General Dynamics, people put their blood, sweat, and tears into this product, and we congratulate you. Fair winds and following seas, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Reha. Ladies and gentlemen, the Honorable Joe Courtney.
Good morning. Thank you, Lieutenant Commander. And it's a great honor for me and Senator Blumenthal to welcome Acting Navy Secretary Hung Kao and the amazing Idaho Commissioning Committee, who really just put on an unbelievable event last night and also at the christening a couple of years ago. And again, Governor Kempthorne obviously is somebody who really just did amazing leadership in terms of making all of that happen. At this base, Captain Craig Liddy and his talented team oversee 15 fast attack submarines, 8,000 sailors and officers, some of whom hail from the Royal Australian Navy, and they operate at a heel-to-toe tempo to protect our nation. There is no better place to begin the 33-year journey of the 26th Virginia-class submarine USS Idaho. We welcome back the submarine sponsor, Terry Stackley, whose years of staunch support for all things Navy will fortify Idaho's sailors for decades to come. She is joined by her husband, Sean, former Assistant Secretary of the Navy, who I know personally contributed so much talent and effort to the progress of the Virginia-class program. And welcome to my congressional colleagues, keynote speaker Senator Jim Risch, and my friend and colleague from the House, Mike Simpson, both of whom serve on key committees that over the years have enabled today's milestone. And the presence of Admiral Bill Houston, head of the Nuclear Navy, is another powerful statement of the importance of Idaho's entry into the fleet. Congratulations to Mark Reha, and the whole EB team. They are on a roll. 2 submarines were delivered last year, 2 submarines are being delivered this year, and 2 submarines, Arkansas and Utah, are working hard to be delivered next year. As he said, it takes a teamwork of thousands of dedicated, skilled workers, and like him, I want to congratulate Ships Manager Sean Sullivan, who deserves tremendous credit for orchestrating this complex enterprise. Congratulations to him and to Commanding Officer Chad Gilrow, and Idaho's crew, who, again, as Mark said, had the highest score for sea trials in the history of the Virginia program. As I mentioned earlier, the subbase is hosting sailors from our longtime ally, Australia. They are not here as spectators, but rather on duty to execute the AUKUS security agreement, which includes the sale of nuclear-powered submarines to our friends down under. Senator Risch was instrumental in shaping that plan. We are honored today to have a delegation from the Australian Embassy whose presence underscores the importance of AUKUS in our nation's shared history. Today, April 25th, is Anzac Day, a solemn commemoration of the Australians who lost their lives at the Battle of Gallipoli and the subsequent conflicts, fighting to protect their precious freedoms. Please join me in recognizing from the Embassy Australian Naval Commander Rachel Atherfold, who, again, has joined us here today. And please stand, Rachel. Again, congratulations and best wishes to Commanding Officer Gilrow and Idaho's crew, who will do great things for our nation. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Courtney. Ladies and gentlemen, the Honorable Michael Simpson.
Thank you all. It is a great honor for me to be here today for the commissioning of this boat behind us that will be the most advanced submarine in the world. It would be remiss if I didn't say, as the governor did, all of us from Idaho will say, it's too bad that Dirk Kempthorne can't be here. He was the inspiration behind all of this. And I can tell you, if there was any way he could have made it, he would be here. But he just couldn't make it. So that's too bad. But congratulations to Dirk and thank him. He's a loved individual in the state of Idaho and around the country. But I've got to tell you, in all honesty, I find it amazing that I am standing here in New London commissioning a submarine named the Idaho. Now, for all you guys in the Navy that haven't been to Idaho, Idaho is a high desert plains state. I grew up in Blackfoot, elevation 4,400 feet. It's got mountains and lakes and rivers, but we're 428 miles from the ocean. And I can remember as a kid, and everything done at the Idaho National Lab was very secretive then. But I can remember as a kid, 8 years old. It's a true story as opposed to all the other stories I tell. This is a true story. 8 years old, I'm walking down the street with some of my friends, and we were used to seeing people in Navy uniforms walking by all the time. And I turned to one of my friends and I said, "We'll never win a war." And they said, "Why is that?" I said, "These guys can't find the ocean." And on top of that, later on in my congressional career, I was in Russia, and we were meeting with the Russian Northern Fleet, having dinner with him. I was sitting next to an admiral, and he said, "So you come from Idaho, huh?" I said, "Yeah." He says, "You know, we always wondered what the hell you were doing out there in Idaho with that Navy." He said, "We tried to get a couple guys in, but they always got caught. Your security was too good." But anyway, it is great to be here today and congratulate everyone that was instrumental in this endeavor and making it work. It's a great thing for the state of Idaho. It's a great thing for the Navy. As I said, this will be one of the most advanced submarines in the world. And so I just want to thank everybody. God bless all those who serve on the USS Idaho and their families. God bless America. And I wouldn't feel like I was at a Navy event. And this is probably inappropriate because it's probably 7 months too early, but then I'm saying it so you can explain that. I just have to say, go Navy, beat Army.
Thank you, Representative Simpson. Ladies and gentlemen, the Honorable Richard Blumenthal.
Thank you so much. I'm excited and honored to join you today and to thank so many people who have been responsible for bringing us to this day. I want to welcome my colleagues from Idaho, great leader and a champion of the strength of our country, Jim Risch, as well as Representative Simpson. By the way, I think you're a little too modest about Idaho. You know, Idaho has pioneered the nuclear science that is responsible for powering this great submarine. So we thank Idaho. And Secretary Cow, thank you for being here and for your leadership and your service. Ms. Stackley, wonderful to see you again and to welcome your 4 children. And Sean, thank you for joining us, and thank you for your service, not only as a Navy veteran, but as an Assistant Secretary of Defense responsible for procurement and development of our defense industrial base, which is so increasingly important to our nation at this moment. I want to say a special thanks to all of the families of the crew members of the Idaho, families of our veterans. I know as a father, Cynthia and I are parents of a Marine Corps infantry officer who served in Afghanistan. Our second son was a Navy SEAL. I know what it's like to lie awake at night and wonder where your sons are and your daughters. And so to all the families you too serve, thank you for your service to our nation. In addition to the crew members, I want to really thank our shipbuilders, the shipbuilders of Electric Boat. If you could please stand, all of you who are here today, the shipbuilders who are responsible for the Idaho, thank you for all you have done. All you've done to make this day possible. You know, I'm going to be a little bit blunt here. Our adversaries and our enemies try every day to steal our intellectual property and the secrets that our nation prizes that enable great warships like the Idaho. They can steal our intellectual property, but they cannot steal the great workers who put the Idaho together. They cannot steal the expertise and the experience, and most important, the dedication and patriotism of our shipbuilders at Electric Boat and others around the country who make our strength possible. We thank you every day for your service to our nation. We live in a world that's more dangerous than ever before. At a moment in our nation's history, we're at war. And we should appreciate the contributions of warships and the men and women who man them, like the Idaho. And the Idaho, as a Virginia class, is probably the most powerful and versatile of any of our weapons platforms. It can launch special operators. It does surveillance and intelligence collection. It can send torpedoes and Tomahawk missiles at our adversaries, at land, on sea. And it is stealthier than any other weapons platform that exists in our nation's arsenal. So we need to continue to build them, and we need to continue to commit the resources that are necessary to build them. And to the Columbia class, which is under construction right now, each of them 2.5 times the size of this ship, a technological marvel that is the pride of our Navy and our nation. So I am honored to be here at this ceremony, commissioning. I was here at the christening. I am here for all of the christenings and commissionings with the pride and honor that I feel, and especially today for a ship whose motto will be the state's motto, Idaho's motto, Esto Perpetua. Let it be perpetual. I can't think of a better motto for a nuclear-powered submarine that will be perpetually powered undersea. And to say to the crew of this great warship, thank you for your service. May God bless you and the United States of America. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Blumenthal. Ladies and gentlemen, Admiral William Houston.
Good morning on a crisp spring New England day. So absolutely fantastic to celebrate the thousands, tens of thousands of people who made this day possible, from the commissioning committee to the crew, to the workers of Electric Boat, Newport News, the friends, family, and most of all, the crew of Idaho. It's truly a wonderful day. Now, I heard a lot of bragging about Idaho. There's one accomplishment that wasn't mentioned in addition to the best in-serve ever, the best power range testing in the last 12 years. The most important thing was it was the fastest alpha trials they've done. They were so busy trying to get the director of naval reactors off, and I still don't know why. But they did it in an amazing fashion. Now, Governor Little talked a little bit about the Navy in Idaho, and Representative Simpson did not want to divulge secrets to the Russians, but I'm going to go ahead and do this right now. So the Naval Nuclear Propulsion Program began, and really its birth was really in Idaho. It started in 1949. We all remember that Nautilus was underway on nuclear power in 1955, but S-1W, the original reactor, was critical in 1953. Idaho had 3 training prototype reactors that not only trained more than 40,000 operators, they actually developed the technology that powers maritime dominance for our Navy. Over 40% of our major combatants are nuclear power. It is what gives the U.S. Navy its asymmetric advantage, and it would not occur without that partnership in Idaho where naval reactors really began out there. Chad, you and your crew represent the best of America. Your performance has been phenomenal, and I'm just honored to be up here on the stage with you. Mrs. Stackley, from the Navy family that you represent, it's just truly an honor to see that people continue to serve this great nation and support this crew. To the families and friends of Idaho, America has the strongest Navy in the world, and it's because of our families. It is very difficult to be a military spouse, family member, or friend. It is even more difficult to do it in the submarine service. It is a silent service. We won't tell you what we're doing, but you always support us, and that is why we're exceptionally strong. To the crew, you are the legacy of the 4 ships that went before you, those 4 warships, and you are taking over the most powerful warship that exists right now. It is an apex predator. There is nothing that it cannot destroy in the ocean. It is what everybody fears. It is truly the most incredible war machine that's out there. Theodore Roosevelt said it well, a good Navy is not a provocation for war. It is the surest guarantee of peace. U.S. Idaho will help provide that guarantee whenever and wherever our nation needs it. May God bless this ship and all who shall sail in it. Thank you.
Thank you, Admiral Houston. Ladies and gentlemen, the Honorable Hung Cao.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, first of all, I'm going to be a wimp and put this on, keep this coat on, because you know what? I've been in this job for about 60 hours now, so. But good morning, first of all, New London. Good morning, Governor Little, Senator Risch, Senator Blumenthal, Congressman Simpson, Congressman Courtney, Admiral Houston, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, and most importantly, the men and women of General Dynamics Electric Boat and the crew of USS Idaho. On behalf of the President of the United States, Donald Trump, and Secretary Hegseth, it is an absolute honor to join you today for the commissioning of our Navy's newest warship, USS Idaho. This year, we celebrate our nation's 250th birthday. With sheer American grit and a can-do attitude, our forefathers achieved the impossible. Out of blood, sweat, and tears, they forged a great republic that still shines a light of hope across the world. That light shined very clearly in 1975 for a young Vietnamese refugee who had nowhere to go. And America gave me hope and a place to call my own. And that's why I served in the Navy for 32 years, because I was not going to let my kids grow up without a flag to stand under or a country to call their own. Our country was not built by Thank you. Our country was not built by politicians or philosophers. It was built by craftsmen, men and women who worked with their hands and toiled and labored to build America. It was a craftsman, a silversmith by the name of Paul Revere, who devised an early warning system during the Revolutionary War. It was a craftsman, a typesetter named Benjamin Franklin, who helped draft the most incredible document in the world history, the Constitution of the United States of America. It was craftsmen that built the Transcontinental Railroad, which has been the artery of America for more than 160 years. It was a craftsman, a machinist by the name of Henry Ford, who created the assembly line, which led to the Industrial Revolution and propelled America to be a superpower. It was a couple of craftsman brothers, bicycle shop owners, named Orville and Wilbur Wright, who created the airplane, allowed America to be the first to fly across the Atlantic and put a man on the moon. When the world needed us, our craftsmen built ships, aircrafts, and tanks so we could liberate the world against oppression. When the world wars ended, the craftsmen beat the swords back into plowshares and we rebuilt America. In my personal life, it was a craftsman, a carpenter, who transformed my life and the lives of billions around the world and became my Lord and Savior. Thank you. Amen to that. What the craftsmen at EB have done is taken raw steel, bent it, welded it, and fitted it into USS Idaho, a Virginia-class fast attack submarine. This is 8,000 tons of pure American might, which is a flexible multi-mission platform providing everything from anti-surface and anti-submarine warfare to special operations insertion, strike, and intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance. This ship was named after the great state of Idaho as a reflection of the state's deep naval history and technological innovation. Idaho has been the cornerstone of the Navy's submarine program, from the Acoustic Research Detachment at Lake Pend that develops advanced acoustic stealth technology to the Idaho National Laboratory, which pioneered the first nuclear marine propulsion reactor. More importantly, both Idaho and shipbuilders like General Dynamics Electric Boat represent the absolute American spirit of innovation and our can-do attitude and ethos. As we commission USS Idaho, we celebrate another symbol of unbreakable linkage between the craftsmen of our shipyards, General Dynamics, and the American submariners who will man this boat. This milestone marks the ship's entry into the fleet as an active duty warship, fully prepared to defend the nation's interests across the globe. While we marvel at the engineering prowess of General Dynamics Electric Boat, a submarine without our crew is nothing more than cold, silent steel. Today, we celebrate the sailors who have breathed life into this ship. To the officers and crew of USS Idaho, for months and years, you have served as a pre-commissioning unit, working shoulder to shoulder with the shipbuilders here in Groton. You took thousands of tons of steels, miles of wiring, and the most advanced acoustic and technology in the world, and you gave it a soul. You've endured the grueling, unpredictable pace of the shipyard and met the uncompromising gold standards of naval reactors and the submarine force. You crawled through every space, traced every system, and mastered this boat from the deck plates up. But you built more than just technical proficiency. You built a culture. As plank owners, you hold a unique, sacred distinction. The standards you set, the camaraderie you forged, and the warfighting spirit you established will echo through the bulkheads of this submarine for her entire lifespan. Every crew that follows in your footsteps over the next 3 decades will sail on the foundation you led. To the families and crew, thank you. Your resilience during the long hours, shifting schedules of the shipyard, and the demanding training cycles have been the anchors of these sailors. This ship is as much yours as it is theirs. Sailors of USS Idaho, you are now at the tip of the spear of the silent service. You are ready. Our nation is immensely proud of what you have achieved, and we sleep soundly tonight knowing you will be standing the watch. We are a maritime nation, bordering on the Atlantic and the Pacific. Our commerce depends on safe and secure sea lanes of communications. President Trump's commission to our military is simple: to achieve peace through strength. Idaho joins the fleet ready to answer the call to action in any ocean at any time. The world knows we can be your biggest ally. We will be there when you need us. Whether it's humanitarian assistance, disaster relief, it doesn't matter. We'll be there. But we will also be your worst enemy. Just ask Iran. We built the largest submarine fleet in the world with their ships that are at the bottom of the ocean right now. And if you really piss us off, we're going to fly you into your country in the middle of the night and snatch you and your wife while you sleep in your beds. Because we're Americans. To the crew of USS Idaho, as your Secretary of the Navy, I'm never above you. I'm never below you. I'm always beside you. Thank you, men and women of General Dynamics Electric Boat. You are the craftsmen that continue to build this great nation. On behalf of our sailors and Marines, I salute you. May God bless you guys. May God bless you all. May God bless this amazing country. And may God bless the United States of America. And now, ladies and gentlemen, to speak further on the proud bond between the namesake state of this ship, it is my distinct pleasure to introduce the true champion of both his home state and our nation's defense. Senator Jim Risch has dedicated decades of service to the people of Idaho. He knows intimately the critical strategic role of USS Idaho will play in maintaining our maritime superiority and keeping our nation safe. He has been a steadfast supporter of our armed forces, our Navy, and a proud effort to see the name Idaho return to the fleet. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming from the great state of Idaho, Senator Jim Risch.
Mr. Secretary, thank you so much for those kind words. To start with, I'd like to thank my colleague, Senator Blumenthal. You said something we Idahoans really don't hear very often when you said, you Idahoans are just not nearly as good at being humble as you should be. We don't hear that all the time, Senator, so thank you very much, and thank you for the hospitality here. Well, first of all, Dirk Kempthorne was supposed to, our former governor was supposed to deliver the keynote address. And as most of you know, he is quite ill and is really unable to do that. As his friend and the governor who succeeded him, he asked me to deliver what he wrote in anticipation of this commissioning. And I'm going to do that here in a few minutes. And when I'm done with that, Idaho's commander-in-chief has brought with him some jets, and they're going to fly over and give us a treat. I would like to say, on behalf of all Idahoans, to the shipbuilders, to the crew, to everyone who's had anything to do with making this work, on behalf of all Idahoans, thank you so much. Last night we heard in detail the amazing work that's been done to get us all here to where we are today. SSN 799 represents Idaho's rich history with the Navy, specifically when it comes to the advent of nuclear-powered submarines. You know, in D.C., I tell my friends we have a seaport and we have 2 naval facilities, and we're 400 miles from the ocean. So it is a real honor and privilege to be able to be here to do this with all of you today. Idaho was the birthplace of the nuclear Navy. We built the first prototype submarine reactor in 1951. The Idaho National Laboratory has supported every major submarine class since then. Today, the GEM state hosts 2 of Navy's premier installations, the Naval Reactors Facility in Idaho Falls, Idaho, and also the Acoustic Research Detachment in northern Idaho and Lake Pend Oreille. People are always quite surprised when a submarine comes up in the middle of a lake in Idaho. All of this has culminated in the cutting-edge Virginia-class nuclear-powered fast-attack submarine that we're commissioning here today. In addition to this, the USS Idaho will be carrying another part of Idaho, and it has something no other submarine, or for that matter, any other ship has, and that is it has a part of the submarine named after an individual. The engine compartment is the heart of this submarine. In that engine compartment is an engine that was pioneered in Idaho, and so I asked the Navy to name that compartment after Dirk Kempthorne, who's done really more in bringing all of this together than anyone. Their answer was they've never done that before. Well, that wasn't exactly the answer that I wanted. In any event, after numerous calls and a lot of spirited discussion with the Secretary, all the way up to the Secretary of Navy, they finally got tired of that, and I'm proud to announce that the compartment is named after and dedicated to our great friend and former governor, former Senator Dirk Kempthorne. There's a beautiful 1 foot by 2 foot, quite heavy plaque that the committee has put together and presented to the Navy to put in that room, and we're all very, very proud of that. Well, without further ado, I'd like to give you the words that Dirk wrote not too long ago, but in anticipation of this commission. So for those of you who aren't from Idaho, it's unfortunate you don't hear Dirk deliver these. Brad and I and Mike have been in politics a long time in Idaho, and I think I speak for everyone who says there really is no better speaker that we've had in modern times than Dirk Kempthorne. He was an amazing speaker, could deliver an amazing address. But I don't have that ability, but I do have his words here that he's asked me to tell you. So, sometimes it is though the planets align to form something perfect, something that is destined to happen. So it is with SSN 799 U.S. Idaho. It began with the first pre-commissioning unit commander, Nick Myers, and the myriad of modules that one after the other would be welded together. This submarine began to take on its form. This is also when Commander Myers began implementing elements of what would become the culture of this submarine. The patch for the uniforms contains so many of the iconic symbols of our great state of Idaho. It has the state horse, the Nez Perce Appaloosa, the state bird, the mountain bluebird, the state flower, the syringa, the state fruit, the huckleberry, and 5 eagle feathers, representing each of our sovereign native tribes. And 5 stars for those ships in history, all named Idaho, including the image of Battleship 42, the Big Spud, which was directly beside the USS Missouri in Tokyo for the signing of the peace agreement. The crest also includes the Navy's largest unmanned submarine at its permanent base at Lake Pend Oreille, Idaho, where the silence of the U.S. Naval Submarine Force continues to be developed and to be preserved. It shows the patch from Naval Prototype Training Unit, Idaho, the birthplace of naval nuclear power, and where the reactor designs are tested and developed that allow these magnificent ships to sail for over 30 years without needing to be refueled. The crest contains the state's motto, Esto Perpetua, and it has the image of the USS Idaho arising from the waters of Idaho and becoming the apex predator, like the state raptor, the peregrine falcon, that is there today. Idaho culture of the ships company was born and embedded. The assembly of the modules, 20 feet long, 34 feet in diameter, continued following the change of command to Commander Randall Leslie, another attention to detail leader. When Commander Leslie led a crew visit of himself and 5 other Idaho sailors to the namesake state, they were treated like rock stars. From a University of Idaho homecoming game, which ended in victory, not common for the University of Idaho, to the veterans' homes and high school assemblies, including the high school of Lieutenant Commander Ron Balk, who was killed during 9/11 at the Pentagon, and the high school of Carrie French, the first female casualty in Iraq when 4,300 troops of the Idaho National Guard 116th Cavalry Brigade were deployed for 1 year. The year before, she had been a popular cheerleader at her school. In each case, in front of the family members and filled high school auditoriums of students, Idaho heroes were honored and not forgotten. Randall Leslie and crew members were great ambassadors, connecting a great state to a great ship, both named Idaho. And then the third pre-commissioning unit commander was named Commander Gillerud, the leader who would give the command for the first time aboard USS Idaho, take her to sea. But before that momentous occasion, so many details and construction projects still had to be completed, and all done in great partnership with the Electric Boat Shipbuilders manager, Sean Donovan, and his team of outstanding workers. It also included the first meal to be served aboard this warship, a full Idaho menu including elk steak, Idaho potatoes, lentil soup, and huckleberry pie. If you haven't had a meal like that, you haven't lived. It was deliciously prepared by the culinary experts of the crew and assisted by Chef Melissa Massell of Sun Valley Culinary Institute, thanks to William Potter. This submarine is also blessed with a wonderful and fully engaged sponsor, Terry Stackley. She and her husband, Sean, are themselves a 40-year Navy family. Where Sean's last duty station was acting Secretary of the Navy, Terry has attended many of the crew visits to Idaho, where among many activities we gathered Idaho water from our pristine lakes. When Terry christened the ship and broke the traditional the bow of the ship, with her first swing, the first water to touch the bow of USS Idaho were waters of Idaho. The ship and her crew were also blessed at the christening by Idaho Native American tribal elders with the traditional spiritual reflections and prayer pipe. Anyone who steps aboard USS Idaho is immediately immersed into the great state. In the crew mess, the fall paneling has been replaced by a beautiful panoramic view of the Sawtooth Range. If you haven't seen the Sawtooth Range, you haven't lived. The officer's wardroom table has on an iconic tabletop denoting all 44 Idaho counties. Throughout the ship are scenes of Idaho. All of this is the careful and meticulous work of Captain Richard Colburn, chairman of the commissioning committee, and his devoted team of over 100 members, many of whom are proud submariners, from admirals to enlisted veterans, an outstanding group of Idaho patriots. And then the day arrived for Alpha Sea trials, with Admiral Houston aboard to conduct the tests of crew efficiency and maneuverability of the ship. Then something unusual happened. Idaho came back to berth a full half-day early. This does not normally happen. What may have happened? According to Admiral Houston, the sea trials exceeded all requirements and expectations, so there is no need to stay out longer. That, from the man who now holds Admiral Rickover's position, is such an acknowledgement of the proficiency and expertise of the USS Idaho. This ship and its captain, officers, and crew are ready for any mission it is given. The planets have aligned. Godspeed to you, Captain Guerrero, and crew. Bravo Zulu, outstanding. And to quote our state motto, Estro Perpetua, may it be forever. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Risch. Secretary Cal, sir, I would be honored if you would now place Idaho in commission.
On behalf of the President of the United States, I hereby place United States ship Idaho in commission. May God bless and guide this warship and all who shall sail in her.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Secretary Cal. Executive Officer, hoist the colors and commission pennant.
Aye, aye, sir. Ship's company, attention. The commission pennant in professional national navies began to take form late in the 17th century. All ships at that time were sailing ships, and it was often difficult to tell a naval ship from a merchantman. Navies began to adopt long, narrow pennants to be flown by their ships at the main masthead to distinguish themselves from merchant ships. The commission pennant will fly continuously until the ship is decommissioned. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. I direct your attention to the ship's sail as we hoist the colors and commission pennant. Quartermaster, hoist the colors and commission pennant! Aye, aye, sir! Captain, the colors and commission pennant are flying proudly over USS Idaho.
Very well, XO.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated.
I will now read my orders. FREM, Commander, Naval Military Personnel Command. 2, Commander Chad Gillerow, United States Navy. Subject, Buper's Order Number 0225 of April 2025. When directed by Reporting Senior, detached from present duty and report to Pre-Commissioning Unit Idaho as Commanding Officer. Upon commissioning of USS Idaho, report for duty as Commanding Officer. Admiral Houston, United States ship Idaho is in commission and I am in command. Executive Officer, set the first watch.
Aye, aye, sir! Officer of the deck, set the first watch.
Aye, aye, sir.
The officer of the deck is the commanding officer's direct representative and, while on watch, is responsible for the safety and smooth operation of the ship. The long glass is the traditional symbol of an officer of the deck's authority in a ship of the line. We are honored to have Vice Admiral Ron Etchison, United States Navy retired, with us today. He will assist in setting the first watch by passing the long glass to our first ship's duty officer, Lieutenant Joel Schaefer from Laurel, Maryland. The spyglass being presented is a gift from the ship's sponsor, Miss Terry Stackley. The petty officer of the deck is machinist mate Kien Trong from San Diego, California. The topside sentry is sonar technician, 3rd class, Tyler Monahan from Bel Air, Maryland. And the bosun's mate of the watch is bosun's mate 2nd class, Eric Rodriguez from Brooklyn, New York.
Set the watch. On deck, section 1. Sir, the watch is set.
Very well. Captain, the watch is set.
Very well, XO. The spirit of a U.S. Navy warship is the embodiment of her sponsor. Our sponsor, Mrs. Terry Stackley, christened this ship here in Groton on March 16th, 2024, and imbued this ship and crew with her sense of devotion and grace. Terry, I would be honored if you would give the order to man our ship and bring her to life.
Thank you. Many of you have journeyed many miles to be here today, and we all have journeyed many years, so I promise to be brief. I would like to express my sincere thanks to family, friends, distinguished guests, and the many who have traveled here from all over, and especially from the great state of Idaho, to attend this historic event. I also want to commend Electric Boat and Newport News for the superb craftsmanship to build the USS Idaho. It is my profound honor to be associated with such a magnificent ship and her dedicated skipper and crew. This moment is for you, Commander Guillereau, and your crew. Please know that when you sail, my heart sails with you. Officers and crew of the USS Idaho, man our ship and bring her to life.
Ladies and gentlemen, the crew of USS Idaho salute you. We are proud to serve in America's Navy. Idaho, ready, to. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Captain, the ship is manned and ready.
Very well, XO. Vice Admiral Seif, United States ship Idaho is manned and ready and reports for duty.
Fully loaded.
Thank you, sir. It had to happen once. Secretary Cow, request permission to break your flag, sir.
Oh, yes, break my flag.
Break your flag, aye, sir. Executive Officer, break flag of the Acting Secretary of the Navy.
Aye, aye, sir. Quartermaster, break the flag of the Acting Secretary of the Navy.
Aye, aye, sir.
Captain, the flag of the Acting Secretary of the Navy is flying proudly over USS Idaho.
Very well, Excel.
Ladies and gentlemen, Commander Chad Gillerow, United States Navy, Commanding Officer, USS Idaho.
Idaho, parade, rest. Good morning, Senator Risch, Senator Blumenthal, Representative Courtney, Representative Simpson, Governor Little, Acting Secretary, Admiral Houston, and all of the other distinguished guests here today. Good morning, families, plank owners, and of course the crew of the Gem of the Fleet. I welcome you today to the only place on earth I want to be, Groton, Connecticut. Well, it may not be the sunshine capital of the world. It's trying. It is the submarine capital of the world, and I would not trade it for anywhere else. I say that not only because of the rich submarine history here, not only for the fact that it is filled with lifetimes of submarine knowledge, but also because it is home to my love, the USS Idaho. Sorry, Victoria, you're right up there. As the speakers before me have highlighted, the state of Idaho itself shares a rich, deep history with both the Navy and the submarine force that is more than just skin deep. From the Cutthroat, the world's largest unmanned submarine prowling the depths of Lake Pandora, to Idaho National Lab, the longest operating experimental research reactor in America, Idaho is dedicated to the mission of making submarines drive quieter, last longer, and go faster. They are devoted to keeping our submarines the most lethal platform on Earth today, and the USS Idaho is a testament to their skill. By itself, the name Idaho carries a weight in naval history that stretches back over a century. Today, we are literally following in the wake of giants. The fifth warship to be named after the great state of Idaho, previous hulls established a legacy through proven performance and prestigious accomplishments. From the first USS Idaho, coal-powered sloop converted to sail that logged a record-breaking 18.5 knots while sailing to the Far East, to the BB-24, the first battleship named after Idaho, who sailed in the Great White Fleet as a symbol of the nation's power. Perhaps most famous, as already discussed, was BB-42, the iconic Big Spud, who defined American naval surface power during the height of World War II. By the time she sailed into Tokyo Bay for the formal Japanese surrender in 1945, Idaho had earned 7 battle stars, cementing her place in history as a rugged, indispensable workhorse of the fleet. Behind me lies the newest Idaho, 7,800 tons of steel, precision technology, and raw American resolve. The first submarine named after Idaho, she proudly transforms the Idaho tradition from the Big Spud to the Silent Spud. The newest Idaho is the 26th Virginia-class fast attack submarine and a marvel of modern undersea warfare. Measuring 377 feet long, she's a multi-mission predator capable of everything from clandestine intelligence gathering and special operations support to long-range strike missions. Living up to her motto, Esto Perpetua, let it be forever, she's the first U.S. Navy warship in over a century to bear the name, reestablishing the Idaho legacy of dominance from the surface of the waves to the silent depths below. Just as the Idaho hulls of the past have established a lasting mark in naval history, the people of Idaho have made an enduring mark on the submarine force. Before I took command, I didn't know much about the Big Spud, didn't know anything about the Silent Spud. I also, admittedly, didn't know that the Idaho State Gem is the star garnet or the state bird, the peregrine falcon. I now consider myself something of an expert on Idaho, though, to include the people of Idaho. I could stand here all day and talk about the different Idahoans I've met since taking command. Richard Colburn, head of the commissioning committee with his boundless passion to the cause. The Honorable Dirk Kempthorne, a man of silent strength and poise, representing the heart and soul of Idaho. Potter, just Potter, with endless energy and enthusiasm, carving out a name for the Idaho and Sun Valley. Unfortunately, I don't have the time. This may not be the appropriate venue either for me to recount all of the stories I've lived in the past year, from brewery tours to tank brigades. The list goes on. Suffice it to say, the people of Idaho, with boundless grace and strength, have left an indelible mark on me that I was not expecting when taking command. Never have I felt more welcomed or more at home than when in the company of Idaho. When speaking of warm welcomes and opened homes, I would be remiss if I did not take a moment to recognize my ship sponsor, Mrs. Terry Stackley. Terry has done more to make my boat feel like a home than anybody else I know. Thank you, Terry, for all that you do, for taking on the stress and turmoil that goes with ship sponsor, for taking the time to attend all of the ship's events, from summer picnics to Christmas parties, but mostly for taking on the responsibility of ensuring my crew always feels like they're part of a family. Terry, you will forever be a part of the Idaho family, and we're all blessed to have you as our sponsor. If the people of Idaho are the heart and soul of the state, it's the crew of the Idaho who are the heart and soul of my submarine. In this respect, I am incredibly lucky. The crew of the USS Idaho has more heart, more grit, and more initiative than any I've served with before. This statement is backed up by fact. Throughout the last year, the crew of the Idaho has proven this and more. We started up the reactor for the first time on July 4th of last year, a fitting date to begin what was described as the most efficient critical test program in the last 12 years. Our sea trials last November were the first Virginia-class sea trials to finish ahead of schedule, proof of the at-sea performance of my crew. Our in-service inspection in December, the final inspection before the Navy accepts the submarine to the fleet, received the highest grade of a Virginia-class submarine ever, testament both to the efficiency of my crew and the quality construction from Electric Boat. The crew has truly proven to be a diamond, or in this case a garnet, in the rough. As a final note on my crew's performance, the Idaho was recognized with a 2025 Battle Efficiency Award and the Red E for Engineering Excellence, two awards we're both humbled and grateful to receive. Of course, my crew is nothing without the families and friends that support us at home. Thank you to all of the significant others that make this possible, to the children that bear the sacrifice of our absence, and to the families and friends that support us through it all, knowing that the job we do matters and that together we're making a difference. To all of you, you too are making a difference, and we are one team. To my two ombudsmen, Memory Prudhomme and Gretchen Witten, I thank you for both your endless devotion and for the support you provide to the crew and families. Lastly, to my family, Victoria, Emily, Thomas, thank you for your enduring support. As I've said before and will doubtlessly say again, without you I wouldn't be here. Victoria, knowing that I have you at home, strong and resilient, ready for anything, allows me to be strong and resilient and hopefully ready for anything. You've shown me what real strength is countless times, and you inspire me daily. Emily and Thomas, I am so very proud of you both. Know that I love you and think about you every day that I'm gone. Today's a special day for Emily. It's her 21st birthday. I was going to ask for all of you to sing her song, but I got talked out of it. It's a special week for Thomas. He takes his driving test next week, so good luck. In summary, the Idaho Connection is more than a name, it is a legacy built before us that is being reborn today. I am incredibly proud to be the commissioning captain of a vessel so steeped in tradition, named for a state with a rich history of both naval and submarine dominance. I am forever grateful for the unsolicited support of the commissioning committee and for taking the time to introduce me to the people of Idaho. I am also, and most importantly, honored to be the captain of a crew so mighty that, even as a PCU, they have outshone all those before them. Crew, we did the impossible and took Idaho to sea last year. Congratulations on a job well done and to all the future successes we will share. So last night I was able to call the traditional Idaho battle cry of PCU Idaho for the last time, and today I'm going to call the traditional Idaho battle cry of the USS Idaho for the first time. Idaho, attention. Let it be.
Forever.
Sink boats.
Cut throats.
Will the guests please rise? Chaplain Chung will deliver the benediction.
Let us pray. May the grace of the Almighty be the silent current that guides your path, and His truth the unmoving star by which you navigate. May His profound peace be the deep that conceals you, and His eternal watchfulness the strength of your hull. May He who commands the abyss grant you mastery in the depths below and a calm surface above. May the Lord of hosts stand the watch with you and return you at last to the safe harbor of home. May His light shine upon you and your families, now and for all your days, always. Amen.
Thank you, Chaplain.